Hi, I'm Bingo.
And I'm Tareq Knox.
And we are from the band Vodka Juicebox. And this is our podcast, Ask Vodka Juicebox. Now, we got contacted by a fella named Brock, where Brock didn't really have a question. We realized we probably don't have an answer, but this feels really important to talk about.
So, Brock, thanks for being on the podcast. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're going through?
Thank you so much for having me. So I'm 28. I live in Indianapolis. Lived here just about my whole life. First week of January of this year, I lost my job kind of out of the blue. And then on top of losing my job at the start of the year, I've been a heroin addict for the past about year and a half. The first time I tried it, I was probably maybe 22 or 23. And I, tried it just a couple times, like sporadically. And then towards like the beginning of last year, it just kind of became more readily available to me.
Okay.
And it kind of became that, that kind of cliche of trying to chase that first high, before you know it, I found myself, hooked on it. And, to the point where, if I didn't, I was getting sick and, withdrawal and all that.
So do you have like a desire to get off of heroin? Have you tried doing that before?
Thanksgiving week of 2020, I started going to a methadone clinic. Methadone is kind of like that's what they use to try kind of keep the withdrawal symptoms, from kicking in. And so I went there and I got daily doses of methadone for about a week and a half, long enough that I'd go early in the morning, stand in line at, 5:30, 6 in the morning, go in, take my dose, and then not not have to do dope during the day and not be sick. So I went a week and a half, long enough to, be able to like kick it and, not have to worry about withdrawal. And that lasted for about a month. I picked the holiday season to try to get clean. And, that's a hard time for, I feel, a lot of people.
Right.
I'm sure family holidays had nothing to do with that whatsoever.
Not at all.
Would you say you did it the first time out of curiosity or the need to escape from something? Like, what was the drive or motivation the first time you did it?
Yeah, definitely like curiosity and, definitely escapism. I've always dealt with like depression. And I've very much used this as like a, self-medicating crutch to try to use, to try to curb the depression,
Sure.
And a terrible decision. It really doesn't work. In a lot of ways, it almost makes it worse,
Okay.
Have you tried other things to deal with depression, like other forms of medication?
No. I've never really gone down the road of like, like anti-anxiety medication or depression meds. I've never really gone down that road. I've always very much self-medicated.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of been the pattern. And it's just kind of escalated over time.
Can you take us through a day in the life of a heroin addict?
Um, yeah, and I mean, it's gonna be different for everyone. I mean, for me, like I still functioned, with my day-to-day responsibilities as far, when I was employed. It was really just, not I wasn't doing it to get high anymore. I was just literally taking it to not be sick. Um, you know, to either, curb depression or to literally not withdraw. So
Okay.
in a way, I mean, it's kind of like hiding in plain sight, because I just went about my average day, like
Okay.
anyone
It's
else. But I just made more frequent trips to the bathroom.
it's really interesting you say that, because I did see a show a while back, and they had a heroin addict, a coke addict, a pothead, and they had set up different exercises for them to do. So one of them was a driving exercise, and the dude that was on heroin actually performed better than the dude that was a pothead, which you wouldn't really. I never thought that was the case. You know what I mean? You always think about the stereotypical dude, laying on the, all curled up on the side of the road.
Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, if the pothead, if he's gonna, smoke before he drives, yeah, he's probably gonna be high. But the heroin addict, he may, they may, if they're shooting up or snorting or whatever they're doing, um, may not even necessarily be getting high, might just be getting normal,
Right.
getting to a level, to even be able to function at all.
Okay, you ready for this, baby?
Yeah.
Okay. We called for a pre-interview, and you really opened up to me, and I was wondering if you wanted to talk about anything we talked about on the pre-interview. If you're ready, how do you feel?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. I'm trying to think
Why?
the
What are
best,
you looking at me for? I don't know.
because I'm trying to think the best way to ask.
So one of the things that you shared with us, based on my understanding, is that your sexual preference is something that you've been keeping close to friends and family.
Yeah. So yeah, like so I'm gay, and I growing up in a very, very small town in, Indiana. Um, I I I always, you know, very much tried to protect myself and not put myself out there in that way, um, because I saw how other kids got treated,
Sure.
um, and so I very much hid that part of myself,
Okay.
um, and so I think there's a good part of like my depression that stems from that, um, and it was something that I you know hid and lied about for so long, and even like today, like I don't people don't ask, so I don't say anything. It's kind of
Right.
like it almost feels like I'm still hiding, but I mean, I guess I'm not necessarily, but nobody asks, so I don't tell.
Was being gay difficult to share with your close friends and your family? And how did they take it?
Um, Friends, I mean, yeah, it was super hard, but it was way easier than family.
Okay.
Um, like my best friend, I've known since preschool. He's been my best friend. I'm 28. We've known each other for like 25 years. That's pretty crazy. So it was a relief to tell him, that wasn't, necessarily too scary. My mom actually found out when I was 19. I got locked up in county jail for possession of marijuana.
Okay.
And she found out because I asked for my secret boyfriend at the time to come visit me instead of her.
Right.
Gotcha.
So how did she take that?
I never felt like, if she found out, she would like disown me or, kick me out or anything like that. I never felt that from her.
Right.
It was just, something that was so scary,
Sure.
and to have to, I was, always thinking I was gonna have to like look her in the eye and tell her, and she found out while I was in jail. So
Well, I imagine you don't just wake up one day and be like, oh shit, I'm gay. Like that's something, was that something you knew as a kid? Like, did you always know?
yeah, it definitely wasn't, like just a wake up one day, like, oh, I know now. It was something, I once I started having, those kind of feelings, you know, I I was very confused, and it took me years to kind of really admit to myself, oh, this okay, I understand this now. I know why I'm feeling this way. Um, it, but there was definitely a period of just shame and confusion, and you know, um, just kind of real mental turmoil and chaos. Just so confused.
I find you to be extremely courageous, and I'm wondering what motivated you to share this with us publicly today.
Um, so, something I realized in uh, my 1 month of sobriety, that I kind of experienced, and like the failure of it, I kind of realized why I failed, um, and is very much not allowing myself to have a support system, um, and trying to do it on my own.
Gotcha.
And it's really it's really something that you need support to tackle. And maybe there are people out there that are strong enough to battle it on their own, but I don't think I'm one of them. So it it became, hey, this might be a way to start to build a support system.
Fuck
um
yeah.
I if I don't actively try to,
I can only imagine based on what you said when your mom found out, or when you told your friend, you had an immediate sense of relief. It's like, oh shit, I don't have to carry this shit on my shoulders anymore. I can only imagine that this would be a step in the right direction, because then you don't have to carry this fucking secret. You can actually find other people that are maybe in the same boat, man.
You're certainly not alone
yeah
here.
yeah, absolutely. um yeah I think a support, because like none of my family know about my addiction or anything. And my best friend does, of course, and he's a great um like pillar of strength for me, as far as support, um as much as he can. We live in different cities and different states, and but he's he's there, but you kind of have to, you need somebody in your own backyard that you can kind of face to face with. And it's kind of hard to do the long distance thing for that too.
Do you think that's something you could find where you live right now? Or have you ever thought about maybe like relocating to a place where, having whatever sexual preference really isn't a big deal?
I mean, I dream about packing up and moving out of here all the time. I guess either not having the opportunity yet, or maybe the opportunity was there and I just didn't see it. But for whatever reason, I'm still here. Here lately, I've really been kind of contemplating, I guess, morality, and not really knowing how long you might have left, and then not being 100% sure if you care. Just, I mean, where do I go, and is it going to be worth it? And finding that that self-worth and everything, it's just a mental battle.
Is there something you've always wanted to do, or like, is there something that you're really passionate about?
I play drums.
Oh, sick, dude.
That's why I had
Yeah,
that.
I'm a drummer myself, man.
Yeah.
Whenever my brother would fucking piss me off, I just beat the shit out of those fucking drums, bro.
Yeah, it's very, very therapeutic.
Huge fucking release, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you still have a drum set?
Yeah, I have an electric kit that I've been because since I moved into this apartment, I can't make as much noise on an acoustic set as I used to be able to. So the electric kit has kind of come in handy in the apartment.
The most important question of the day: does your fucking hi-hat work on your electric drums? Does your hi-hat work? This guy can't get his fucking
My
hi-hat.
hi-hat is a piece of shit, man.
It does not work. It never works.
It's funny you say that, because mine has started to kind of go in and out. But the snare pad is, I've got, I don't know, several holes that I've worn through that pad. I need a new a new snare.
So you don't fuck around. You're actually beating the shit out of the drums.
Sometimes I get really into it. I've been known to break a stick or two on a ride cymbal.
All right.
That's what's
up. Based on your experience, what advice would you give someone else in your situation?
So, I mean,
that's a tough one, I know.
It is. Yeah, when you're still in the situation, it's hard to give advice, to get somebody. I mean,
how about getting an electric drum kit and beat the shit out of it?
Get the shit out of it. Yeah. Yeah. I think what I've learned the most, like I said earlier, is finding a support system. If you can't find a support system, a support, just a supporter, find somebody that you can put in your corner, talk to them, and have a trust and a respect and a love there. And, knowing that you can talk about, whatever sensitive subject, or, and just having that support, just trying to find that.
I think we lost you, man. Can you still hear us?
There you
Hello,
are.
there you are.
You were singing to us.
Yeah, we lost you for a second. It was just like,
Yeah, I think I lost you too.
Yeah, it was,
like,
it was very strange.
It's auto tune.
Heroin.
admissions.
All right. Love you guys.